growing up, I loved Tex Avery, Chuck Jones, all these cartoons that are kind of in my blood, you know, that I've watched so many of them. And this film, I felt like, was a great chance to do what those great animators did, which is through movement, you can express feeling even more deeply than with your body. It's like a caricature, in the same way, you know, Hirschfeld or someone would draw a likeness, a caricature. Those guys would do through movement, and it's like real life, but with the volume turned way up. And this was our chance to pay homage to those guys and put some of that we learned from them on the screen. So yeah, it was Chuck Jones, Tex Avery. There are a couple of like Jack Kinney, who directed a lot of the Goofy shorts in Disney. A lot of those, we would watch those every day in animation dailies and learn, step through them. It's amazing stuff. It was one of those that was referenced in The Illusion of Life, the Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson book, which as an animator you'd read like the Bible, you know. It's fantastic, and they always talked about the fun they had working on such exaggerated, pure characters. When we came up with this idea, I remember my producer Jonas Rivera said, if we do this right, these characters, the 5 emotions, could be kind of like our version of the 7 dwarfs, you know, like Snow White. And in that, they're all very strong, opinionated, caricatured personalities. So that was what we were trying to do. The storyline, I think as filmmakers, what we were trying to say, you know, everybody wants to be happy in our lives. As parents, we want our kids to be happy. And yet life is not always happy. There's disappointment and loss and all these things that are they're the reason we have these other emotions. So there are things that we feel negative about and we try to avoid, but that's the reason these emotions exist, is to help us handle the difficulties, the complexities of life. So we're trying to say, okay, life's not always happy. We grew up on Disney movies, we love happy endings, but sometimes there's more complexity to things, and we try to represent that in the film. We did reference, or we tried a number of different emotions before we ended up with ones we had. We did try pride and hope, and we had Schadenfreude, so of course the joy in other people's pain, you know, Schadenfreude. I'm not sure if that's a German word, of course. And then what else did we have? We tried a bunch of different things. In the end, we ended up with, we didn't want to have a room full of people running around, so many characters you couldn't keep track of. So 5 seemed like a good number. And some of the qualities in some of these other characters, like hope, we ended up giving those to joy. So joy is a little bit of like a best hits of some of the positive emotions in the film. I have kids. I think all the films that all of us make at Pixar are a reflection of our own lives. And so I can't think of anything that's affected me more profoundly and deeply than being a parent. Watching my kids grow up has been an amazing experience, and also triggered elements of my own growing up that maybe I still haven't dealt with that I'm working through in the film. So I don't know what happens next now that my kids are grown up. I'm out of a job, I guess.